Here we go with a tarot bit of guidance for the first 3 months of 2022. And I'm obviously thinking of it from the point of view of bringing the light, feeling the light, moving into truth and justice and goodness and healing and wholeness and community and tolerance. What has the cosmos, the angels, the gods and goddesses got in store for us for 2022? The first 3 months. I've found doing the first 3 months keeps it a bit more focused, because when you do all 12 months, I always used to do like a wheel, a tarot wheel for the year, 12 cards, one for each month. But I find doing the just the first 3 months, January, February, March, just like, okay, keeps it fresh, frisky. Okay. So what do we have to guide us? Remember, the tarot is a bridge to our unconscious, and everything can mean something different to each person. Each card can have its own meaning, as it should, okay? So, and as we know, there's always flux in the cosmic highways. Everything is always changing, a bit like the staircases at Hogwarts, which they really should have kept those staircases changing. The last few films kind of missed out on that magical stuff, and they definitely should have kept the ghosts. The ghosts were great. Yes. Anyway, let's think of Tarot 2022. Tarot guidance for all those who come across this video, that can get something out of it, that their angels and their totems and their guides lead them to this video, so they hear something that is useful and helps guide them to be the best version of themselves in 2022. So I'm going to do one card for each month, and I'm going to then use the Pandora as a mindfulness of what energy might be coming, just to be mindful of. And then I'm going to do an angel card for the general kind of vibe regarding that. Okay, so the first month, January. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's get it out of the light. So January, well, that seems interesting when I consider the whole movement of Pisces and Jupiter into Pisces and Uranus quite positive. The Five of Swords. Now, what you notice with the Five of Swords is there's one guy there at the front, and he's snatched swords off other people, and he's looking really quite happy with himself with his 3 swords and 2 swords on the ground, and there's 2 other people kind of walking off going, meh, yeah, whatever, have my sword if it makes you feel better, if you think you're somehow a better person for having my sword. The Five of Swords, for me, can mean a kind of empty victory, or hollow victory, or a sense of defeat, or kind of not meaninglessness, but just, well, what was all that about then? What was all that for? Don't really understand what it was all about. I mean, swords are about air, so it can be things that have been said or thought, and it's like, don't really know what happened there. So it's an interesting card, because there is a sense of achievement with that guy in the front, that he's somehow overcome his enemies. Yet when your enemy is kind of walking away and drop their swords, what is it really? It's not like, the Viking death, the death of glory. The Vikings always feared a straw death, dying on their beds as old men. So January is the Five of Swords. Very interesting. I wasn't expecting that. But then you can never really expect too much, can you? Because there are mysterious forces at work, like there should be. What would the world be without mysterious forces and things that we don't understand? Okay, so the Pandora card for January, which is like, okay, just be careful of this raising its head, and just be kind of watchful of what goes on here. And oh, hang on, there's a back to. Why in the whole pack do I pick a back to front card? Okay, this is what's come out. Now that's not surprising either, is it? Anger. It's very interesting. Didn't really have, like I say, January down as an angry Five of Swords kind of month. But hey, anger. Be mindful of anger. So if something just comes up or is said or is done, just be mindful. Think about the Five of Swords. Think about what is a hollow victory, what is really winning, and what is feeling defeated. I think that's actually, it's got quite a theme here, hasn't it? And now I'm going to just pick an angel card for January, which is something that is to maybe focus on or something to be mindful of again. And what has come up is, oh, well, yeah, interesting, compassion. And that's quite interesting when you've got the Five of Swords and there's battles and there's struggles and there's little things going on which, you know, people are a bit annoyed, or they sometimes can be riling with those swords, you know. Can even be with the Five of Swords, it can be a mental kind of struggle, a mental tussle between something that you're working towards, and maybe you have a few setbacks and it feels a little bit, what's the point of that then? So that's quite interesting. The Five of Swords, be mindful of anger arising and don't let it get the better of you. And then be compassionate. And as always, where does it start? It starts with ourselves. So do not be angry with yourself. Just understand what's happened and why it's happened. If there's thoughts going on, if there's exchanges being had, if there's ideas that haven't come through, if you had a plan for January and it's not manifesting, or you've been let down in any way, just go, okay, right, just mind the anger, mind it towards yourself, don't get angry with yourself or other people, but always it starts with ourselves and then we project it out. And then compassion, obviously, towards oneself and the whole situation. It's like, okay, just trust the universe, just trust that if something doesn't manifest, it's because maybe just not now, or there's a good reason for it. Oh, yeah, okay, that's interesting. Okay, let's look at February. Oh, more swords. Okay, but this is the King of Swords. So I think that's quite interesting. Well, let's look at the King of Swords. There he is on his lovely throne with all the clouds around again. It's air. It's an authority. It's someone who knows, a wise kind of person who has a sharp mind and intellect. And look at his face. I mean, there's no messing there, is there? There's the clouds in the background and there's the groves. He's sitting in his authority. So February looks like a month that will be after the maybe the kind of struggling of January with that Five of Swords. The King of Swords, for me, would suggest, okay, that's over. Work at developing the authoritative thoughts and actions and intellect. If you're researching something or you're learning something, learn it, do it, get on with it. Maybe the struggle of the Five of Swords in January and the annoyance of it and not being able to do things as you wanted will all kind of move onwards, obviously, if you take the authority and the discipline of kings and the wiseness of kings, and you just get on with it and keep studying, or keep on with your project, keep on with your research, keep on with things that you want to say and do. keep on with the perseverance. Okay, so I would say that February looks better. It looks like more kind of in authority, in your power, and in that kind of mode of understanding and wisdom. So that definitely looks like a natural flow from January. And then with the Pandora cards, let's see what comes up and what to be mindful of regarding any emotions that could raise their head. Okay. Okay, I don't know why I laugh at these things, but I do, because it's like just the human experience, isn't it? Be mindful of worrying. What is worry? Well, one of the dangers of worry is repetitiveness. That is one of the dangers of worry. That playing back a reel, it's like playing a vinyl, a CD, a tape, or your Spotify soundtrack. It wears it not only does it wear, but it kind of grinds into the mind. It lays a track down in your mind. Repetitiveness. That's how hypnosis works. It's how indoctrination works. It's how propaganda works. And when you worry, it's almost like a self-propaganda exercise. You're just constantly confirming the worry and the negativity. So be very mindful of worry, because it's the classic cliche. Is there anything I can actually do about it? If there is, do it. If there isn't, let it go. And, let the chips lie where they fall. Just let things go. And we can't control everything. It'd be interesting if we could, wouldn't it? Imagine living in a world where we would actually just control everything, and everything just went exactly how we wanted it, or we thought we wanted it consciously. Because that's the other thing. Our unconscious, we know what our unconscious is doing because of what we're aligned with, where we're living, who we're hanging out with, who we're having relationships with, what our job is. That is the unconscious at work. Our conscious mind is very, very different. It's present. It's like, woohoo, I'm here, I'm looking at a tree, and there's some birds, and there's this and there's that, and oh, I want this and I want to do that, and all the time there's this huge, like, kind of fantastic energy working completely unbeknownst to us unconsciously, and sending out vibrations that we're aligning with. And the unconscious can be connected and worked with and integrated, which is a fantastic thing. So I'm looking for an angel card for February 2022. Oh, this is nice. Okay, I love this card. Grace. All right. So there we have, for February, the King of Swords. Be mindful of worrying. If things aren't going your way, do not keep pushing them around your mind, rolling them around your mind so they make an etch, like a brand in your mind. No. Just kind of go, okay, open the windows of your mind and go, can I do anything about this? No. Okay, let me open the windows of my mind and let it fly, and let me just ask the universe, God, Goddess, the totems, all energies that support the love and light in your life, whatever they may be to you. And then that card of grace, it's a beautiful card. I think that's a lovely card to go with the King of Swords. That having grace, having that kind of that ease and balance and equanimity, and that kind of glow of calm, and everything's going to be okay. Don't worry, be happy. 3 little birds sit by my doorstep, singing sweet songs of melodies pure and true. Don't worry, because everything's going to be all right, as the song says. And we just have to really believe that, have faith in that. It's amazing what we think we believe, but deep down in our unconscious we actually don't, and we can tell what we don't because, again, what we're aligned with. So let's look at March. Swords, swords, swords. Let's see if we get something different. March. No, we don't. Wowza. Look at that. Ten of Swords. Wow. So we've had the 5, the King, and the 10. That is really interesting. I wasn't banking on that. I thought it was going to be kind of, some lovely, uplifting, who knows what. Well, come on. The 10 of Swords. Completion of a cycle. The end of it all. And sometimes we don't realise it's the end of it all and we just keep kind of going, okay? We don't realise that we've reached the completion. Look at that black night sky. It's like the dark night of the soul. You've been stabbed in the back 10 times. You lay there spent and just in ruin. It's all over. You have been dispatched. The situation has been dispatched. The 10 of Swords, the end, the completion. It's an ending. And as we know with endings, look at the dawn in the background. It is a new day that dawns. From every death comes a rebirth. As I often say, we die every day. We are not the person we were before Christmas. We are not the person we were last January. We always are dying and rebirthing ourselves. So March looks like there's some endings, some completion. Something you may have been working on just goes, okay, that's it. It's kind of all done. Because it's not just, it is an end and it's a completion of a cycle, but there is a new cycle coming, and that's exciting. I mean, I know the card looks grim, but it sends a message, doesn't it? That particular thing is over. Let it go. Just let it go. Do not keep, trying to revive something that has no right to be revived, and just wants to be left in peace. Look at the new dawn. Look around you for the new dawn, okay? As that person's soul goes to be with the ancestors in the halls of the ancestors. I really wasn't expecting a reading like this at all. I thought maybe we might get some nice little cups, some nice kind of easy kind of thing, maybe. Make your own destiny. Maybe I thought we might get the Magician, something nice like that. 5 of Swords, King of Swords, 10 of Swords. Forewarned is forearmed, is it not? So it's kind of interesting, and regarding the global thing that's going on, regarding ending of cycles, so much coming out now, isn't there, about all the lies, all the deceit, those demons. They're clever though, aren't they? They are clever. Wow, have they pulled the wool. I watched something today about psychology of mass function and what makes people come together. Actually, it was a program, and it was saying how 65%, they did a study in America, 65% of people consider themselves lonely. And when there's like a mass function, like a mass event, like what's been going on in the world the past 2 years, people strangely come together and they suddenly feel they have a tribe and a group, and even when all kinds of things get introduced to them, like facts and figures and stuff, because it's given them such a camaraderie-ship of people and their tribe, a group they feel they can identify with. Nothing will sway them from the way they think. And the demons have done a lot of work to understand that about how people work, or how they can manipulate people to work. Fascinating. So let's look at the Pandora card for March. What do we need to be mindful of? Emotions that might emerge, and we're like, ooh, better be careful of that. Oh, well, I say, aren't we lucky? So we have a blank card, which almost means you can write your own check on this one. You can write your own word in. You can basically see what seems right for you. You can just go, okay, see what vibe is happening for you. And it's a bit of a wild card. Nothing there, but will come up and something will come and surprise you. Or you just go, okay, there's nothing to worry about. There's no darker emotion. I don't know. We all have our own dark emotions, and some of them are more prevalent than others. So let's look at the angel card for March 2022. Oh, my lovely, beautiful angels. Can we have a gorgeous card to give us some kind of guidance for March 2022? Oh, okay. Courage. Courage. Okay. Courage. I actually like that. I like March. The Ten of Swords. A blank Pandora. Maybe it's just like nothing's going to come up. It's just going to be great. It's the end, the new dawn. Just let it roll. Let the good times roll. Just let it roll. Let it be. And then courage. Have courage to follow your conviction. Have courage to just let it be. Just stop holding on. And it is quite a thing when an end of a cycle comes, because you do have to go. It's quite a big thing to let things go, and letting things go it's not just always because I don't know about you, but I'm always quite kind of realistically minded. It's like, oh, maybe this is going to happen, or maybe that's going to happen, or maybe that thing I wanted to do I'm now not going to do. It can be just let go. The rebirth, the new birth. Have courage to face the new birth and the new ideas and the new ways of being. Have courage to be yourself. Have courage to say what you want to say. Have courage just to go for your dreams. Have courage to live it large, think big, the whole thing. Okay. So I will put a photograph of this at the end of this video so you can see January, February, March 22. There's still, as we know really, there's still kind of this air vibe around, which is thought, ideas, machinations, manipulations, fantastic ideas, wonderful ways of being, suspicion, glory, innovation, ingenuity. It's the mind games, mind and mental acuity, and using it to the best of your ability. So I'll come back obviously at the end of March and review it quickly, and then we'll do April, May and June, and we'll do it for 3 months at a time. Keep it